Hello, I'm Janessa. Welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to do a mini analysis of Taylor Swift's recent announcement of her 12th studio album. So we will look at an article describing this announcement. We'll actually take a peek at it on Instagram, and of course, we'll put it in astrological context. I'm working on some other videos as well. Those are all in the editing process, but I was pretty intrigued by this development today. I'm recording this on Tuesday, August 12th. I don't know when I'll get this video out, but I wanted to capture the energy of the moment. Let's take a look at the New York Times article titled "Taylor Swift Announces New Album, The Life of a Showgirl." The singer-songwriter revealed the name of her 12th original studio album in a surprise announcement, but no other details. So let's scroll down. This article is by Julia Jacobs, and it was published on August 12th, 2025 at 12:18 a.m. Eastern Time Zone. And it says, Taylor Swift relishes announcing her albums in dramatic fashion. On Tuesday, she did it again, revealing the name of her 12th original studio album, The Life of a Showgirl, when a countdown clock on her website ticked down to 12:12 a.m. Eastern. She did not disclose the release date of the album or any other information about its tracks. Known for meticulously placing Easter eggs ahead of announcements, Swift's team set off speculation from her hyper-attentive fan base by posting a carousel of photos on Instagram on Monday. Could the 12 photos taken at stops on the Eras tour correspond with the singer-songwriter's 12th studio album? Did the pattern of orange outfits align with Swift's practice of color coding her catalog? I don't know if you could hear that. Sadie is actually, she's dreaming right now. So if you hear that in the background, she's growling about something in her dream, but we'll continue. Sorry, got a little distracted. If you don't know, I have a miniature Australian Shepherd named Sadie, and sometimes she makes appearances in videos. So let's continue. Thinking about when she said, "See you next era," the post's caption teased. The announcement coincided with the news that Swift would be making a rare media appearance on the podcast New Heights, which is hosted by her boyfriend Travis Kelce and his brother Jason Kelce. The episode is slated to post on Wednesday. The fan theorizing began to build on Monday when the podcast posted to social media a teaser advertising a very special mystery guest in silhouette. Her appearance was confirmed Monday night when the podcast's social feeds posted a short snippet revealing Swift sitting alongside Travis Kelce. The decision to appear on New Heights may be more than just favoritism. The Kelce brothers show has its own huge fan base. This month, it was ranked 10th in audience reach in the United States. Travis Kelce, the Kansas City Chiefs star tight end, has mentioned Swift sparingly on the podcast, which features a crossover of sports and pop culture topics. But every public appearance from the couple has been closely dissected since their relationship became public in 2023. Swift has been largely quiet since her Mammoth World Tour ended in December after traversing 5 continents over nearly 150 shows. But the singer-songwriter announced in late May that she had bought back the master recordings of her first 6 albums from the investment firm Shamrock Capital, giving her ownership of all of her music videos, concert films, album art, and photography and unreleased songs. It was a momentous deal worth a reported $360 million, according to Billboard, that ended a saga over the recordings that had begun in 2019 when the music manager Scooter Braun acquired the catalog. Braun sold it to Shamrock the following year, prompting Swift to begin the process of re-recording those works and releasing them as Taylor's version. All I've ever wanted was the opportunity to work hard enough to be able to one day purchase my music outright with no strings attached, no partnership, with full autonomy, Swift wrote in a letter that announced her purchase. Okay, so that is the New York Times article. So this was posted, I believe, at 12:12 on the 12th. It says here. And let's listen. Let me turn up the volume a little bit. It might be a little choppy. The audio is not great when I share screen, but let's see what they say here.
Show you something.
Okay, what do we got?
We got,
Briefcase,
yep,
mint green, TS
Yep.
on it.
yep.
What's in it?
This is my brand new album, The Life of a Showgirl.
TS 12!
Okay, so there's the announcement that was shared on social media at 12:12 a.m. Eastern on August 12th. Note that because we're going to look at the astrology of that moment, of course. And then let's just take a peek too. This was the carousel of photos that was referenced in that article. We have from Taylor Nation, and it says here that quote, thinking about when she said, "See you next era." So we've got Taylor Swift. And as it was shared, we have a lot of orange outfits. Very, very interesting. Okay, so let's transition to the astrology. Let me put this here. So if you haven't seen on my channel, I did a birth chart analysis for Taylor Swift. Now, keep in mind, her birth time is highly debated. There are Swifties and others out there who believe that she must be Scorpio rising. There's another camp that believes she must be Capricorn rising. And in my video, which I'll link here, I actually made an argument for funsies that, well, what if she's Sagittarius rising? So that's why in the center here with Taylor Swift's chart, you'll see an ascendant at 27 degrees of Sagittarius. Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Is it possible she's Sagittarius rising? I present that argument in that video. Honestly, it's so hard to know without working with someone in order to truly rectify a chart. If the chart time is debated or not known, which maybe she does know. Maybe Taylor Swift does know her birth time and she just doesn't want to disclose it for her reasons. But let's say she didn't know her exact birth time. She would need to go through a process of what's called chart rectification. And that's actually pretty in depth, where she would sit down with someone and they would go through the astrology of her life in order to rectify or hone in on a specific time that may be likely based on a review of past life events and how they line up with astrology. And there are some traditional astrology techniques from Hellenistic astrology that I've studied from Chris Brennan that help in that process of rectification. So all that being said, we don't know exactly her house placements. Also, I don't know where she was when this was announced, but you'll see here for the transits on August 12th at 12:12 a.m. Eastern. I did put Westerly, Rhode Island, just because I think that's where one of her properties or one of her maybe primary homes is located. So that's the transits around her birth chart. So we've got her birth chart in the light orange. We've got the transits or where the planets were in the sky in the light green. And there's one piece of this that I wanted to talk about because I know that we could go in so many different directions, but a specific transit that I wanted to highlight in relationship with this studio album announcement is, of course, the Venus-Jupiter conjunction, which you'll see here. At 12:12 a.m. Eastern this morning, that conjunction had not gone exact yet. But if we pull up events, we can actually see exactly when Venus was conjunct Jupiter. And we'll put both as transiting. So we're only looking at what's happening in the sky. And it says 10:30 p.m., but that's based on West Coast time. So actually, I'm gonna just change this to New York just to line up with the East Coast time. So that was very early in the morning, around 1:30. So about an hour and 15 minutes or so after the announcement of this studio album, that conjunction between Venus and Jupiter went exact. So I thought this was a really interesting expression of that energy. We have Venus, the planet of relationships. Obviously, Taylor announced this via an Instagram post that showed a clip of her with her partner, Travis Kelce, sharing this on the podcast that Travis Kelce and his brother do. So that's a manifestation of that relational energy. And of course, Jupiter being a planet of big. And we noticed in that article how the reach of that podcast, obviously not just Taylor Swift's own reach, but the reach of her community plus the reach of this podcast community. I thought it was interesting as an expression of Jupiter, the planet of more, expanding beyond limits, expanding beyond boundaries. And of course, this Jupiter-Venus conjunction occurring in the sign of Cancer, which is connected to water, our emotions. The announcement seemed to have a little bit of a playful, emotional quality to it, some excitement. And keep in mind that at the time of this announcement, the moon was in Pisces. So the moon is in Pisces, which is ruled traditionally by Jupiter. Jupiter is in Cancer, which is ruled by the moon. So that creates a situation in astrology that's called mutual reception, meaning Jupiter is in a sign that's ruled by the moon, and the moon is in a sign that's ruled by Jupiter, and they're forming an aspect to one another. It's actually a trine here. So we have Jupiter at 14 degrees of Cancer, and we have the moon at 26 degrees of Pisces. So really interesting example, I think, of that energy, that more positive interpretation of the Venus-Jupiter conjunction. And do you think this supports Taylor Swift being Capricorn rising, Scorpio rising, or do you think there's something to my theory about how she might be Sagittarius rising? I'd love to connect with you. I'll read your comments below the video. Congratulations to Taylor Swift, of course, on this announcement. And I have a feeling there are going to be some pretty excited Swifties out there. So I hope you have fun with this as well. And I look forward to connecting again soon.